Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'd almost forgot I was in a spooky dress. I kinda did, actually. Butterbean, really like getting to look inside your home. I saw you still had a little space to furnish, so I thought I'd thank you for hosting me with this gift I can read. Nothing could make me happier than hearing I chose well. I'll put whatever it is, it's going in the basement. Just imagine Butterbean, always dreamed of living inside a library. Picture myself surrounded by shelf after shelf of books, stacked up to the ceiling. In a home like that, it's possible I'd never run out of reading material. Dreamily yours, Gala. No. If only I could gift her all of the books. I would. I would do that. I do apologize if I am a little lower energy than normal. I have a headache today. I was in bed way longer than I planned, and also didn't get as much sleep as I planned at the same time. Oh boy, I have 2 of these now. Neat. It's just what I needed. Ooh, cypress plants. That about where that should be? Yeah, it's 1 square on either side. It doesn't look right, but it's 1 square on either side, so. Yeah. I ended up being awake all night. And then I was like, around 6, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna nap until noon. I'll get up around noon. That's not the best time to be getting up, but it's not a bad time. It's not good, but it's not bad. You know, it's kind of in the middle of where I'd like to be getting up. And then I did wake up. And then I went back to sleep. I see you stopped by, but I'm kind of preoccupied just now. Did you make him? Currently crafts a spooky tree. See how I do at it. DIYs are a great way to learn by doing. Totally obsessed with it. Rambler, you want to learn to make a spooky tree? Sure. Alright. Wrote down all the details right here. Should be easy for you. Should be. I mean, I could use a spooky tree. I really need to, like, actually get making some spooky stuff so we can spookify the island for Halloween. I mean, we still got spring stuff around. Mostly because the spring stuff just kind of worked for summer. So, like, you know, it just works. And when things work, they just work. Like, our table arrangement just works. The bunnies, yeah, they're holding eggs, but they just work. Oh, we got so many animals chilling here. Super evening, Twinkles. Let's talk. Sunny days are my absolute fave. Sunny days, it feels like anything is possible. It's very fair. We got Maple. Good evening to you. Would you love an evening walk, honey? Slatus. Weather's just perfect for a stroll around the island, isn't it? It is. Well, I have to do the concert now. If it isn't the cool cat who puts the hep in my step. Steven, you ready for me to wail? Let's hear it. Cool. Any requests? You can dial for an old favorite, or you can just tell me how you're feeling, and I'll groove on it. Leave it up to you, my man. Dealer's choice, huh? Cool. Got a slick one for you. Take a seat and we'll jam. There's so many seats I could take. I need to sit... I'm sorry, Simon. I need to sit between the sweeties. I mean, you're all sweeties, but I can sit between them. The K-Funk. I will say, there is something I can ramble about today, and it pertains to Yoigo. Not this game specifically, but I just have Yoigo on hand, so Yoigo. So, I was watching a Distant Coder video, because he is a dueling book judge, and he basically asked, while live streaming, taking judge calls, you know, why would you even play dueling book if all you're going to come on here for is to shark people? And I'd left a comment basically kind of jokingly saying, like, I honestly feel the only reason to play dueling book is to shark people. Sharking is when you basically try to get your opponent a game loss for every minor little infraction. And, like, there were I had 2 people replying to me, basically arguing, no, dueling book's where you go to learn how to actually play your game. It's like, okay, but how does that actually teach you how to play the game any better than any other simulator? well, you can misplay on Dueling Book. It's like, yeah, you can, and then you can get sharked into a loss. You can't misplay on Master Duel. Which leads down to a question I had asked one of these people. Because their whole argument is, yeah, learn how to do everything before you even play the game. It's like, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying play on simulators that are going to actually teach you how to play the game. Dueling Book is not going to do that. Dueling Book is as close to Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! As you can get with an online simulator. You have to know the rulings, you have to know your card effects, there's minimal animations, it runs in a browser. Like, it's not a great place to be. Which is how rule sharking even happens there, is because, well, you have to know the rulings to your own cards, which means you need to know how to read the cards. The amount of judge calls that Coder gets that are literally just him having to read the card for the players because neither of them can read it. And it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are complicated. They sound complicated, but they're not. Or it'll be a case of, they did read the card, but they've never read the rules of the game. Right on, man. Give your pockets a glance. Took you a boot of the show. I was like, unreal. Thanks for tuning your dial my direction. And like, one of these people was giving me so many hypothetical arguments of like, well, what would you do in this situation, or this one, or this one? It's like, literally all of these situations, I can give you an answer to, and I have not played in a tournament since 2005, 2006. And I don't play on Dueling Book. Yet I can give you a proper response, right, you can't just dig up a stick, to all of these hypothetical situations. Like, you know, let's imagine your opponent accidentally performs an illegal activation. You go, hold up, you can't do that. And then if they go, wait, why? You explain to them why they can't do that. An example I like to go to, because the card itself has a self-burn effect written into it, that is literally impossible to activate. And that being the card Crop Circles. You activate the trap, and then you send from your field an alien monster with a level to the graveyard. You then summon from your deck an alien monster with the same level. So if you have a level, but with a different name. So if you have a level 4 alien on the field, you only play 3 of this one level 4 alien in your deck. An alien shock trooper. Pretty cool dude. It's just a generic vanilla. You wanted to play it because it had good attack stat. There you are. You try to activate Crop Circles. You actually can't. You're not allowed. Because to activate a card, it must have a valid target. Like, you can't activate Mystical Space Typhoon if there are no spell and trap cards to destroy, even if after it's been activated, you could destroy itself. That doesn't matter. There's nothing on the field that you can target with Mystical Space Typhoon, thus you can't play it. That is a rule of the game. A card must have a valid target to be activated. Playing on Dueling Book, you aren't going to learn that, especially if your opponent doesn't know. Because the card itself says if you can't find a valid target, take 2,000 points of burn damage. You could play that card completely wrong because you've just simply never encountered somebody who actually knew how it worked. Hey there, Steven. Stay a while, Airmail. One chat. Waking up early to pack special lunches for myself. Put my food in fun little nested boxes. Mix up what I pack in them, but I always make sure to draw a funny face on my pan. Aw, that's cute. My dad did it for me when I was little. I loved it so much then, I still do it now, Airmail. It's so nice to open up my lunch and see it smiling back at me. It's a treat for my eyes and my tummy. Aw, it's so cute. I love how it literally had my response. But like, you wouldn't know if, say, Like, if I played Crop Circles against you, and I know how the card works, but I know that you don't, if you're targeting my alien shock trooper with something to destroy it, and I chain Crop Circles, tributing off the shock trooper and summoning a new one, it's like, haha! You wouldn't know that I couldn't actually do that if I didn't have a valid target in my deck for it. Because it has to be a, well, it has to be a different name, but you get the idea. Like, say, instead of destroying it, you're trying to steal it, so I just use that to get it off the field, and I only have shock troopers left in my deck. Like, you wouldn't know that. It's like, shucks, I took the 2,000 burn damage. Like, shucks. You wouldn't know. I literally can't do that. You literally can never take that burn effect. To my knowledge, there is not a card in the game that can cause you to take that burn effect. Because it would have to be an effect that can activate and resolve. Well, this just matches my dress. I gotta go with it. Like, got a tough helmet. I don't really want tough helmet. I'm tired of being tough, man. I don't want to be tough anymore. Get some walking shoes. Those actually look really comfy. I just wish there was like some orange shoes. Or black, that aren't like the dress shoes. I have too many pairs of those. We're like, and at that point, you might assume, because I'm playing the card, that I know what I'm doing. So that must be how it works. Steven, I just wanted to say thank you for always being there to help Label. She talks about you all the time, you know. She says the outfits you pick out are always super inspiring. Then she runs back here and starts sketching furiously. It's wonderful to see. She does so much for all three of us. Thank you from the roots of my quills. Aw, such a sweetie. So, like, what would you have learned from that situation on Dueling Book is, Crop Circles can be activated this way, because that person activated it that way, and that seems reasonable. It has a downside that seems reasonable. The thing is, though, the card actually can't be activated in that situation. So the fact that I did it was actually an illegal activation, and I shouldn't have been able to get away with it. And the only way you would know for sure is if you understood the rules of the game. Funny how that works. And, like, just simply playing on Dueling Book is not going to teach you that. What would teach you that is playing a Master Duel and encountering an opponent playing Crop Circles. Or trying it yourself, or just simply understanding how the game rules work. Oh well, Gala and I were just talking about you, and now here you are. Oh, what are you talking about? This Gala seemed like super grinny lately. I think she's planning something, Queen. She's always planning stuff, planning to be cute. Butterbean, come and join Diva. Lay it on me. So excited to be hosting some of my favorite neighbors here at my own home. What a rare treat. Snorty, am I overdoing it? I don't want to sound like I'm all desperate or something. No, you're fine. You two have fun. You girls have fun. So, like, that's more or less my problem, where it's like, you basically have to understand how the game works to understand that you need a valid target in deck to activate Crop Circles. And I more or less even worded my question to this guy, telling him the answer by how I worded it. Like, I didn't leave it vague. You know? Squawker, great to see you. Let's chat. Hey, what are you up to for the next 7 hours? You wanna hang out? Just kidding, Nightshade. Because, like, I wanted to basically prove the point to him that he probably doesn't understand how to play the game as well as he probably thinks he does, because he plays on Dueling Book. Like, I've learned more playing on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro than I think I ever would playing on Dueling Book. Because on Dueling Book, one, not only, like, okay, inherently, I'm not the most trusting person when it comes to games. If I have an opponent in a game say, oh no, I can do this, I'm going to go, but can you though? Where's the rule that says you can? Especially in something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic, or Pokemon, or, you know. I've just simply encountered too many people in my life who will do everything in their power, try and sound as charismatic as possible to get away with cheating. And it's like, no, I want to know the rule involved here that says you can do this thing that it doesn't look like you should be able to do. I don't want to just take your word for it. I also like to understand when rules say I can't do a thing that it looks like I should be able to do. Like crop circles. It looks like you should be able to activate it if you don't have a valid target in your deck. Because it says if you do not find a valid target, you take 2,000 burn damage. But that's the thing. If there is no valid target, you can't activate the card. That's just a ruling I already knew. The one that always trips me up is Level Modulation, a card from 2006. It's an old boy. Level Modulation says your opponent draws 2 cards. Okay? Target 1 LV monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. It cannot attack or activate its effects this turn. Pretty big downside. Your opponent gets 2 cards, the monster's effect is basically negated, and it can't attack the turn you summon it. Pretty decent for turn 1. This is clearly meant for summoning the high-level LV monsters that at the time were a major pain in the ass to summon. And the way it's worded, it ignores the summon conditions. Well, the big high-level ones say they must be special summoned by the effect of their lower-level version, or the mid-level version, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. So, right, okay. Dump it to the graveyard, special summon it with Level Modulation. The downside is big enough that it makes sense you'd be able to do this, right? No, you can't. Because those that high-level monster, if it wasn't properly special summoned first, can't be special summoned, because game mechanics says so. Even though being properly special summoned, you know, needing to be properly special summoned to be revived, is a summon mechanic. It might be a game mechanic, but it is also a summon mechanic. Like it or not, that is a mechanic of summoning. Yeah, it doesn't ignore it. Ah, we got the K-Funk. Gotta love the afros. Also, Pudge being there. I think that was Pudge anyway. Looked like Pudge's little smile. But, like, it just very much annoys me how there was even a bunch of people agreeing with these two, and it's like, do you guys not understand what I'm saying? Am I just wording it badly? Like, but one of them was like, but when Master Duel released, there was an influx of people at locals who weren't playing their cards properly. It's like, then they haven't read the rules of the game or learned how to read their cards. And they probably net decked to build their Master Duel decks. Yeah, those are what we call locals players. You expect them to make mistakes. They're the noobs of the game. Like, what do you expect? They're going to be making mistakes. But you call out those mistakes. If you know how the game works, that is your duty as the experienced player, is to help correct the new players. And if they don't like your corrections, you call a judge, and that judge will correct them or kick them out. Like, you know, that's the whole point of judges. They're effectively the referee. You know. Thanks, Brewsty. But yeah, it's like... You could basically show me just about any Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I could probably tell you exactly how that card works, and you could probably even give me a situation, and I could probably tell you the rulings around it. Or at least how it would work mechanically, whether that's actually the rulings or not. Doesn't, you know, some rulings don't make sense, but that's because the wording on the English card is not actually the wording that the card should have, because it was mistranslated. Thus, it has a ruling for it that says you can't do X or Y. Like, the best part is, like, when you get things that are like, search out any Guardian except for, you know, this card, 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 because they just named it Guardian when they shouldn't have in the past, or named the new thing Guardian when they shouldn't have. Konami's gotten better about that, Konami of America. They have gotten better about it. But they're still pretty bad for doing that. Where they'll name something that they just shouldn't. Because they're like, yeah, why not? We'll just name it, I don't know. We'll name this card Gerald, Guardian of the Gate. And it's like, wait, so is it Gate Guardian? Is, you know, he's got Gate in his name, so now if we have, well, he has Guardians, so now he's got to be added to the list of cards that this card that searches any Guardian cannot search, because he's not actually a Guardian. He's not a Guardian archetype, he's just a Guardian. And then, you know, well, we got the Gates, so we got Supreme King Gate, and this isn't that. So if we have anything that ever searches, you know, we ever make Gate the archetype. I mean, we got the Numeron Gate, so I think that's Numeron Wall. But, you know, you get the idea. It's like, they'll just randomly name things, and like in Japan, it'll just have been like, Warrior at the Door. You know, it'll be something like that. Like, it'll be a generic name that they know they don't plan on using for any archetypes. You know, might even have a name. You know, it might actually be like Ryu, Guardian at the Door. Or not Guardian, Warrior at the Door. You know, they'll be sensible about it. And then, you know, you get North America where it's like, we got a Guardian in there. He's guarding a door. He's a Guardian. But now he, you know... and then they'll release things that are various crystals. And it's like, well, there's a card that searches every crystal. Except now it can't search this crystal, or that crystal, or this one. Because those aren't actually crystals. Because they weren't crystals in the OCG. Which means they're not crystals, even though their name says crystal. Which those are things you just have to know. If you're playing with these cards, you should know how they work. You should know how your deck works before you play it. Like, the only time you shouldn't know how your deck works before you play it is if it's not your deck. If I was trying to get one of y'all into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm gonna sit y'all down with a Crusadia deck, and I'm gonna explain how Crusadias work as you play them. And I'm gonna sit you down with Crusadias, because Crusadia is a deck that does everything a modern deck does, but does it in a simple way. Like, you normal summon your first Crusadia. Doesn't matter which one it is, you normal summon it. Doesn't matter what the effect is. It's just there to be normal summoned. You then link summon it away into the Link 1 Crusadia, who has an arrow points directly straight down it. He has an effect, which you can use, but isn't important. You then have another Crusadia monster in your hand, because the deck is almost entirely Crusadias. Or at least you have something else that can be summoned to a zone a Link monster points to in your hand. You then special summon that thing to the zone that this Link 1 points to. And then you summon them, you send them both off to the grave to summon the Link 2. Link 2 has an effect. Link 2 searches stuff. You want to use that effect because it searches stuff. It's a key part of your thing. You're probably going to search out another Crusadia monster so that you can have the material to summon to its Link zone that points directly down. It also has one that points directly up. And in doing so, you get to now summon the Link 3. The Link 3 gains attack equal to the number of equal to the attack of the monsters it points to, and it points bottom left, bottom right, and straight up. And you can summon Crusadias to the zones that a Link monster points to. So you can summon monsters to your 2 zones and gain a bunch of attack. There's a few that you would ideally like to end on. I forget their name, but the man and the lion, you want those 2 as the 2 on your field. You can't summon a Crusadia to your opponent's side of the field, but there's these funny things called kaijus that you can, as long as they control a monster. You get to choose where that kaiju is summoned to, so you can put the kaiju in front of your Link 3 Crusadia. And then you gain all the attack points, and then you punch them in the face really hard, and you probably win. And if you don't win, you've probably lost anyway, and that's just kind of how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. If you don't win on your attack, you've probably lost. Because your opponent is going to get to rebuild first, and you probably don't have all that impressive of a board, especially playing Crusadia. You have a big beat stick that admittedly does actually have a negate, but it's an awkward negate. So like, I'm all tangled in my cords, so no. There we go. So like, you wouldn't know exactly how the Crusadia deck works, because I'm just gonna be handing it to you to be like, here, let's learn you this game. And I would also pick Crusadia because, well, who doesn't like big numbers? Crusadia, given the man and the lion, the man makes your Crusadia monster inflict double battle damage. The lion makes it so you inflict piercing damage, so even if your opponent has a monster in defense position, you can still just bash their face in. You can routinely and pretty easily deal over 10,000 damage to your opponent playing Crusadias. This is my fish. My crab. No crab for you, Serrano. Get off my island. I think he's sassing me. Like, it is a case of, yes, I'm passionate about this, because, like, their argument is so stupid. Like, the whole argument is, well, you need to play on Dueling Book to really learn how to play the game, except I know how to really play the game, and I've never played on Dueling Book. I also have not played in Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Since 2008. And again, my last tournament was like 2006. And I know how to play Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty darn well, I'd say. So, argument kind of invalid. Like, you just need to know how to read the cards and know the rules of the game. Those are the things you need to know how to do. And if you can do those things, congratulations! You're clearly a lot better than the majority of Dueling Book players. Given the amount of judge calls that freaking Coder gets, where it is literally just somebody trying to shark their opponent because they slightly misread a card. Or possibly misplayed in a minor way. Like, and like, maybe I'm just an overly friendly player. But like, if I see an opponent do a minor misplay, unless like I was participating in like a YCS, which is like Yu-Gi-Oh's big tournaments, if I was in a YCS and my opponent misplays, oh yeah, I'm not letting them take that back. But if it's in like a locals, I'm gonna let them take it back. It doesn't matter. They can take that back. Like, some of the things this person was asking was like, oh, but what if you have an opponent that doesn't properly shuffle their deck and then quickly draws? And it's like, so they're clearly stacking their deck and playing maliciously. You report that to a judge. Like, if they don't offer their deck to you to cut, then before they draw from it, that's a problem. They need to be doing that. That's proper play etiquette. That is literally in the game rules. They have to do that. So, like, that's kind of a moot point. You call a judge, you get it settled. And if they refuse, the judge telling, the judge, like, if they've already shuffled the card into their hand, it's an irreversible game state. If they still have that card that they just drew in their hand, it's still that card in their hand. And, you confirm with the judge, they confirm with the judge, this is the card I just drew. The judge can be like, right, put it back on the top of your deck, properly shuffle your deck, allow the cut, then draw your card. That's a reversible game state. And that's only if your opponent doesn't just willingly do it on their own without the judge call, because they don't want that judge call. Nobody wants that judge call. That could get you a game loss. Especially if this isn't your first time doing something like that. So, but yeah. I'm going to stop rambling here. I could ramble and rant about this for frickin' ever, but my head is pounding. So I'm going to end things off here. I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then.